Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Who podcast. This was very weird, me starting it. Your co-host for this episode. I'll just give you a quick dive into what we're doing today. We are going, as I called it last podcast, we're going deep in Dan.
Not the title.
Not the title. We're just going to give Dan an interview. Because he's.
I need a new job, so we're going to interview me.
We're interviewing Dan for a job. Sorry, don't mind me. I'm just putting my thingy on charge.
You do that.
I will, because otherwise I'll go, because it's about to die.
That was a good start. Very professional.
Right. So, Dan, are you ready to go deep in you?
I'm a little bit concerned about what you've got to say, because...
No, to be fair, they are all YouTube and life related.
Okay, well, that's that. It's just that I've known you for such a long time.
I know, but this is obviously I know your life, but this is going to be more about your YouTube, right?
Yeah,
because you've not really. Obviously, we've been friends for ages, and we both think like, oh, we're both going to start a YouTube channel. Everyone else quit, like gave up, but you're still going strong.
Yeah.
So this is going to be, why did you keep going? What made you, and all that stuff like that.
Okay.
Bro, I'll show you the questions I've got written down.
I don't show me them. I think it's more of a case of I'm so used to being the one with like the knowledge of what's about to happen that I've got it planned in some form.
Yeah, this feels good.
And normally you're going in blind, but this time I'm going in mostly blind.
So Daniel Johnson, you joined YouTube on the 22nd of May 2013,
okay,
and have roughly 80,000 views altogether. You know that?
Well, yeah, I remember when I created YouTube. I didn't post a video on it for a couple of years after, but I did have it. I tell you what.
Your first video was in 2015.
We'll
get to that bit.
Of the proper videos, not of the.
Well, yes. Well, this is again. This comes to it later. As you know, as I've been a fan since day one, because I've had to be. So first of all, Dan, what made you start your YouTube channel?
I think it was because at the time, it was what everyone else was doing. Like you say, there was like it was just like the common
thing to do.
Yeah, but it was because we grew up with like that internet culture of. We watched like Stampy or Minecraft YouTubers and stuff like that on YouTube all evening, and with that you kind of wanted to be them. I watched Ashens because I was grown up. Then other people watching Dan TDM, he like reviewed like retro toys and like bootleg stuff, and I think he still does.
TDM.
No, Ashens.
I thought you said Dan TDM reviews toys. I was like, I don't think he did, mate.
He's still playing with, Minecraft and stuff. I think Dan TDM.
He's still playing with kids. Well, he has got a kid, so
I've got strange phrases.
He would play with the kid. He has got a kid.
He's got a kid. That's exactly what you meant. But no, I think that it was just the time that's when everyone was doing that. And I think that it took many years to kind of grow what I wanted to do, because it started off with like whatever I thought of that evening, but then it became.
Daniel, literally, like, what my questions are.
More and more.
Them, so
interesting. But I'll shut up.
Sorry, keep going. I'm looking for my list. No, keep going.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of what everyone was doing at the time. I think that it took me ages to hit 100. I know that. I think it took years.
It did. Yeah.
I think when was it? I think I was at a wedding, ironically, when I hit 100.
Were you?
Yeah, I was. It was in 2019, and I was at a wedding. It was my cousin's wedding, and it was in the south, and it was also I had no Wi-Fi. It was like being on a retreat, and I knew I was at 99. But then throughout the wedding day, I had no idea what it was on. And then maybe the next morning, if not the night I got back and went, oh, I've hit 100.
How did that feel when you hit 100?
It felt like I should have done it ages ago. And I was a bit like, oh, I've hit 100. But, like, I don't know if you remember, but at the time, I distinctly remember somebody that started one of the YouTube channels around the same time we did and gave us a bit of, like, stick for the stuff that we talked about compared to the stuff that they did.
Was it...
No, I think I'm talking slightly younger than that. No, it wasn't him.
We can say first names.
It was Matthew.
Really?
Yeah. So I remember
he
did, and he hit 100. And when he hit 100, it took him like a couple of months. And for me, I was sitting there for years until I hit 100. And I was like, oh, great. I didn't know. It was one of those things, though, when you kind of understand the idea that once you get something, it has no real value and no change in what your life is. Like, at the minute, I'm sitting there going, oh, I really want to hit 1,000. But once I hit 1,000, the minute I hit that, I'm going to be like, well, nothing changed.
No, I feel like 1,000 is gonna be much of a bigger wow than 100.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Because then you could hopefully get a bit of monetization going. It won't be a lot, but then
you need more than just 1,000 though nowadays.
Yeah, you need your hours and all that stuff, don't you?
I don't know. I don't think I'd even qualify for any of that. But yeah, hitting 1,000 I think was always the big goal. But
so just taking it back a few steps, you said you started your channel because everyone doing it. It was also everyone's dream to become a YouTuber.
Right.
Did you start your channel in the dream of becoming a big YouTuber, or were you just doing it because that's what you wanted to do?
I can't say I wasn't like, I think I was trying to replicate them, but I don't think I was I'm going to do this as a job. This is me sorted for life, or anything like that. I think I was trying to copy them, but I wouldn't say I was taking it seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the as you mentioned, the old videos that are all gone. I don't think that I was going, oh, this is good stuff. Well, I might have been at the time.
We'll get to them.
But I think, I was going, oh, people are going to love this. People are going to love this. This is the thing that takes me off or anything like that. I wasn't thinking like that. But nowadays I look at it and just go, this is the most copycat, childish, unprofessionally made, messy things to put on the internet, thinking that you can get people to watch it.
Yeah. So you started your YouTube channel in school?
Yes.
Whilst we were quite young.
I want to say early year 8.
Early year 7, because your voice dropped to year 8 and you were still squeaking.
It was at the end of year 8 into year 9, was it not? Or was it year 9 to year 10?
No, because it was year 8, because we literally came back, sat in the art room, which was our form room, and you spoke, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, Dan, your voice!"
My voice just went down
just after the summer holiday.
It was. I distinctly remember that, because a lot of people were like, "Oh, my voice has gone down over the year, over the 6 weeks."
Mine just was the same throughout school.
Yeah, yours didn't go down until but a year ago. Like properly.
Shut up! No, mine didn't go, which is actually quite embarrassing, until year 11 summer holiday.
No, I was. Yeah, I think you've got deeper since then. So.
Oh, 100%, yeah. But we came back in year 12, and then it was like, oh, your voice has gone a bit. But anyway, and this isn't about me; it's about you. So, because you started your YouTube channel in school, did you face any comments or backlash when people found your channel?
Yes, I remember being I wouldn't say I was bullied for it, but I was mocked for it.
Yeah.
And as you know, I always kept it secret as much as I could. Thanks for Will for exposing this a few times.
This is the thing. I didn't want to bring up that because half the reason I was a dick, right, in school. I thought the way to be popular. I was the kid at school who wanted to be popular, right? I hate myself. Not hate myself, but I hate looking back on it, thinking that's what I wanted. And the way that I like literally got up your YouTube channel in like IT lessons, looking back on it, it was just, I'm sorry. It wasn't. It was just not the right thing. Like, it's your thing. You said many people you didn't want a lot of people find out, but I was thinking I wanted to get laughs. I thought this will get laughs. Let's just show everyone this thingy.
Yeah.
Not your thingy, but your YouTube channel.
Well, it is deep in Dan. No, but I'd agree though, because like at the minute I don't really care that much. Like,
yeah,
I think because since I got the TikTok account, and I don't think it's linked to anything, but because you, Amy, and then sort of other people have begun to follow it, it's meant that people that we went to school with now know my hobby, my passion is this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
I think also we've all matured. Like, obviously, like, I think now if no one found out about your YouTube channel in school and we went back, and again I was a dick and got it up on the thingy, I think people would then be like at me, well, what are you doing? No one cares.
Yeah. But no one really did care to begin with anyway, though, did they?
No, no one did. No one cared. That's the thing. Because it was like,
I think your videos got more traction than mine did. You got like a month of like, was it 1,000 hours, 1,000 watch time or something like that? Was it minutes, hours, something like that? You got a lot of watch time from essentially people just watching one of your videos.
And that's why I deleted my channel.
Yeah.
But no, also it was still running. I just took all the videos off it, not because of the bullying, but like just because it was effort. I said it many times. It's effort, and I personally can't do it. So this takes me on. We don't want to skip loads because we are kind of trying to go in a timeline order. If you can see what I'm trying to do.
Well, just before you ask that next question, I just want to say I don't think we were ever really bullied for it. To be honest, I don't
think we were bullied in school.
I don't think anyone bullied anyone really in that school. But I think, there was
definitely some bullying. But we
there
were
was some bullying.
Enough.
But it never came our way
stuff. But it was
in that form.
Yeah.
Luckily, but I think that we would have been quite easy targets. To be fair.
Okay. Yeah, we would have been, but luckily we only had like. Obviously, you get your comment every now and again, and like I wanted to be funny, and everyone like started not hate me, but take the piss and all that stuff. But I never saw it as bullying. What I deserved, you know what I mean?
I always just sort of, well, because I was like really, really quiet. I kind of didn't have that thing, and then as I kind of became more confident, I spoke to them more.
Yeah, everyone liked you. Like,
and
no
so,
matter.
Yeah, and so that's where, and then because I was quite introverted to myself, it meant that I never got into arguments with people, so that I was always
100%.
quite. And also, it meant that people were like really relaxed around me because I didn't really have a side, and I wasn't sort of argumentative with them. So a lot of girls would like tell me things that they probably wouldn't normally tell a guy, because they just saw me as sort of this sort of in between ground.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to not go to the girl side. We're trying to stick to the YouTube and. We're not going to talk about how Dan gets so many bitches. That's not
what I meant when I said that statement.
That's for next. Who? Okay, so we're gonna talk about the eras, I call them, of your YouTube channel.
Okay.
Some
of
them
distinguished them into eras.
Yeah.
Okay.
So first off, Daniel, you did Minecraft.
Yeah. Only you would know that. Yeah, I did for a little while.
Yeah, you did. You used to film your Kindle. A bit of Minecraft. Any reason you did Minecraft?
Because I was trying to copy all the other people that were doing it, essentially, and Minecraft was what I played a lot at the time. It was popular. as it still is, and
Yeah.
it meant that we were all kind of like trying to get that sense of community and enjoyment that we got out of watching other people play it.
Playing it, and Minecraft was the thing back then. If that was what all the kids that, yeah. But anyway, I guess that answer was coming. It's got nothing to do with your channel now. Then your interests kind of take over.
Okay.
Lego.
Yes. Yeah.
What made you go, you know what? I've got this Hulk figure here. Let's give it a review.
I think it is that. So I mentioned Ashen's earlier.
Yeah.
I think that I was trying to replicate his videos, but with what I had to hand. Yeah. So it was
so like, when you were doing your, sorry.
So it was like, I think there was one which was like a Harry Potter blind bag, which he was like famous for doing, and I really loved those videos. So I got one and I did one. And my neighbor filmed it outside. It was just down here, like just in front of the window. And we filmed it there with this camera that
right near TARDIS to the face.
That was a bad video. Silly joke that we made.
You just took a TARDIS to the face. It wasn't a banger video.
I mean, I thought it was like TikTok before TikTok, or Vine. It was like Vine. It was more of a Vine than a YouTube, but it was so silly, and it was like anything that would somewhat make me laugh would basically get posted.
So your inspiration for the Lego era, we'll call it, was Ashen's and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I had a thing obviously for Lego, and I bought a decent amount of sets, and I kind of would always be quite interested, more in the figures, less in the sets, but that kind of stuff I was found quite fascinating. So yeah, they kind of merged the two ideas together.
And then after you went to your Lego, the Doctor Who started taking over, I feel, and you started reviews.
Are these of Series 9?
Series 9 and onwards.
I think
Series 9. Yeah.
I don't know. Series
was
9
that coming out, and that's why you were reviewing it?
Yeah. So Series, I don't know why I didn't review Series 8. I think I was thinking about something else. At the time,
probably too young.
What were we, year 8? So I don't think I was. I think I kind of gave up on it, I guess, for a little while. I mean, we might have been still doing the Minecraft thing. I think we were looking for the whole.
We had a couple of YouTube gaming channels going, which never went anywhere.
I think we were doing the whole like GTA funny moments thing at the time.
Yeah,
where you didn't quite have the power or the knowledge to edit those videos, so a lot of it was trying to find workarounds. But yeah, I think so. Series 9, I ended up recording reviews for them. I don't know what spurred me to do it, but something did. And I started with The Magician's Apprentice, which is familiar, and did all of Series 9.
Well, that would make sense. You started with,
and I did it weekly as well. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, just after I finished the episode. I don't think that format of how I did it didn't really change until fairly recently, or Series 12.
I remember that, like, you were messaging me being like, right, I was like, Dan, let's message about this episode. I can't do it now. I've got to film my review. I've got to put it out first. I've got to do this. And then, your reviews, they went on for ages, obviously, because Doctor Who's coming out all the time, and I'm pretty sure when the Centenary comes out, there'll be a review on that. That's just me and Mum. I was just trying to FaceTime. There'll be a review on that. So yeah, I always review being like, I've got to pump up these reviews like seconds after they come out. And then I feel that for you, it works getting your channel known. Definitely, I think that is the big growth in your channel, the reviews. But your opinions.
Let's not critique my opinions of Series 9
through it. Opinions are more of Series 11. Recently, you were like, "Oh, this episode was really good, guys. I love this episode." And then it's just looking back now, you go, "I hated that episode. Why did I?" Do you know what I mean? I just think it was funny. Yeah. And that again, is because you had just watched it and you wanted to get it out first.
I mean, I think I made a huge mistake with some of the Series 11 ones, where it became. I think with a lot of the early ones before that as well, where it was like, let's just record it in essentially one take, and let's just say what comes to my mind. Maybe let's write a few things down on paper, but
Yeah.
let's just ramble for ramble. That means walking, doesn't it? What's the word?
Ramble? No, ramble just
I
means
thought
like,
Oh no,
yeah,
rambling.
rambling.
Means the same, doesn't it?
It's rumble you're thinking of.
Rumbling. That doesn't sound right. That sounds like
No,
PJ
rumble's
Duncan.
the walking one. Ramble is.
I thought rambling. Well, rambling about
the two dyslexics.
Just rambling about bleeding, whatever I could think of, and then I found myself repeating myself, and it got to Series 11, and I was like, I am completely out of
Whoa, you're
focus.
white.
I am 17 years old. Maybe
17?
maybe
17?
2018.
Yeah, no.
I
2018.
was 16.
Left school,
17.
we'd be 18. Maybe let's go in 2020. We'd be 16.
16. So yeah, we were like 16. I was like,
16.
I am just talking the same thing that I did a couple of years before in Series 9, and I'm like, okay, let's change things. So then I think by the time that Series 12 came along, I was like much better at making those critiques of things instead of the Series 11 ones, when I kind of let the whole Doctor Who's on cloud my judgment. Although some of them, I think, are quite good. I definitely don't rate Series 11 as highly as I did at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that can go for anyone, though, can't it? Because I think for a lot of them, I was like, oh, it's all right. And I don't really want to be incredibly negative with them, though. Like, I think one of them, I think it was the Arachnids one, I really, ripped into it and thought how bad it was and everything like that. And I just felt like I was just being reactionary. I was just saying things and they weren't having any meaning. So then when I did or balance, so I sort of filmed it again and I thought it was more balanced. By the time that Series 12 came along, I was like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing. And then Flux, I, for the most part, stand by everything that I said.
Series 12 onwards, I think works because you took, was it a couple of days afterwards to post it?
No, it went out that night.
Was it?
Yeah.
Your Flux ones?
Yeah. The Flux ones went out that night, if not early hours of that morning.
Oh no, but you structured it, didn't you?
But
you
it had
structure.
Yeah, it had proper structure to it instead of.
Yeah, you had your structure. That was it.
Instead of
it
just
was more
ramble
together
ramble.
than just ramble.
It had subheadings, so that was the whole purpose of the subheading, was to stop me falling into that trap.
Mm. And then after reviews, this is the modern era now. We have unboxing and collecting.
Yes.
Scripted video essays, and finally, the thing we're on right now is the podcast.
Yeah.
Yay! You have to get a mention. Unboxing and collecting. What made you collect? What made you get to unbox?
Okay, so I think it was also based off the Ashens thing, but the Doctor Who guide and many people like that, they just unboxed things when they arrived at the door. And for me, I don't know where it sort of started with them. I think probably the Steelbooks would be my guess.
I think it was the Steelbooks.
But it was a case of I remember pre-ordering the second series on Steelbook, and then when it arrived, being so excited, I was like, oh, this is one of those things, like, I want to talk about something, you do it on there, because my parents don't want to hear about this crap, so let's do it there instead of doing it in person. So then I'd go and, talk to the camera for 10 minutes about it.
No, your hands would talk to the camera.
My hands would talk, yeah. And then, I'd flimble around the... kind of get my hands around the camera and things like that, to even be able to do it. But yeah, that's kind of where it started. But I think that they once again, I think it was all a bit Rookie. There's a lot of rookie mistakes that I just wouldn't make nowadays, like trying to hold it in weird ways or to reach round the camera and all that kind of stuff. I just wouldn't do. But no, that was some of the best. I think when it comes to the unboxings, they're quite standard, but they're I quite like doing them. I quite like talking about them. But I think I would definitely get bored of them if we got too many items that I would be like, oh, I can't physically keep up with this demand of having to do them all.
Yeah, collections and collecting stuff. Mainly obviously the steel books and the classic series.
The collection box set things.
Collection box set. I forgot exactly what they were called. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
How did it start?
That how did it start? That's what you're going to ask. Yeah. So
how did it start?
I think. So my shelf is not currently lit, but when it is lit, so I've got like the steel books and the Doctor Who shelf, and I had a thing when I was younger about watching things on DVDs and sort of having an experience with it rather than just like going onto my player. So I would always pick these.
You always got raised better. Like even a movie just come out and it's on Netflix or anything, you'd be like, I'm getting the Blu-ray.
Yeah, I did have a phase definitely for many years of like if a Marvel film came out on Blu-ray, it'd be like I'd buy it immediately they've released. But now I don't. I think there are many I don't have currently. I think I buy.
Doctor Who.
Pardon?
Marvel Doctor Who you don't have.
Marvel. Although there is a Doctor Who release that I haven't bought because I decided that it wasn't really worth the money.
Do you? No, we'll get onto that stuff later.
Right. Okay.
No. So.
I just like I like talking about it. Essentially, I like talking about my collections and the things that I own. Not in a braggy way.
No, of course. You just want to be like.
I just like to showcase it, I guess.
I collect. This is what I've just got. It's not like got more money than you. I can buy this.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of money, we all know that some of these box sets have been quite difficult to find.
Yeah.
Daniel Johnson, what is the most you have spent on one of these collection items? Specifically the Doctor Who ones, not your Task Corner.
I think. Okay, I can't remember what I spent on though. On the collection box sets, I got them for fairly decent prices. I don't think I paid maybe more than like 60 quid, 70 quid for them. For the ones I didn't have, which I think were...
That's a fairly decent price.
Yeah, but I didn't... Compared to what they could have been, I didn't go too far over. But I did buy, for definite, a steelbook of one of the Peter Cushing movies for like £70. I think that was the most expensive thing that I've bought.
So £70 is... So roughly between £70 is the most you've spent for one of your collection items?
Yes, but if you talk about like the Big Finish stuff, I think that I break that quite quickly.
Yeah, because you collect Big Finish as well. The most you spend on any of your collection items.
Yeah, I think the vinyls for like the Ninth Doctor Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
They're up to like 150 for all of them across.
You spent 150. Oh, across the 2 years.
Yeah, so you get like 4 box sets.
Yeah.
And they're about £45 each, so 150 for the 4. So you save a bit of money, and they're things that I'm going to get anyway. But so I'm sort of trying to be more careful with Big Finish, particularly at the minute, because I know that there's like a lot of you probably won't know, but there's a lot of stuff that I'd like to get over the next couple of months. But I'm just sort of buying them more in advance than I used to, and sort of pick and choosing the series I buy as well.
You probably don't have an answer for this. Again, I'm not trying to make you sound rich. You can say no if you don't want to answer, because it is a kind of bit of an intrusive one. So you could guesstimate how much you've spent collecting.
God, I have no idea. I don't know, but it's so gradual though.
Yeah. Okay.
So because I think obviously you're not just paying out in one go. I would say you're probably looking at across the last, say, 8 years.
Whoa, you're going white again.
Yeah, I know, it's my bank balance. About, I'd say probably about £1,000 over the last couple of years.
That's not too bad.
But I there's no way. I don't think I'd really want to calculate that though. To be fair.
No, yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Like I think
Okay.
I know probably more than that because all the Big Finish stuff, way more than that intact. That's probably, I think you're probably looking at about £1,000 a year or something like that.
Just for the Big Finish.
Well, maybe, yeah.
All right, okay.
I think if I was given free reign, I could easily spend £1,000. I can spend well over £1,000 on Big Finish.
Yeah, if you're giving free reign because it's not your money.
Yeah. But
I spend
think
over
that
10 grand on shoes.
I wouldn't like to think about it, but I think that if you gathered all the stuff I have, and since I started buying them, which really was only when COVID started properly.
Yeah, I think it was. Your collecting was when COVID started.
Because I bought Ravenous, which was an 8th Doctor series.
Ah, yes.
And since I bought them, I think you're that the sort of 4 box set things come to about £80, something like that, or on the way towards £80, if not more. And with that, it would mean that you might get 4 sets, but there's a lot of things that like the unit box sets. I got them and I bought them over I bought sort of 1, and then I bought a 4, and then I bought the other 3 in a sale and things like that. So I don't really know how much I paid for each one because some of them I've bought cheaper. But no, it's a horrible question because I really don't want to know.
That's fine.
Like,
you don't want to know.
I don't want to think about it.
I told you, no, I'm joking.
I don't want to think about it.
That's fine. So podcast will come on to that later. And your current era, like what I feel you're also the most proud of, which is kind of rude question, but anyway, we'll go over it. Is your scripted video essays?
Okay, I kind of made out that statement. Yeah, no, my scripted video essays. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, am I really laggy?
You were a little bit then. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I'll say it again. The current era in your YouTube channel, which I feel is definitely you feel the most proud of putting out these videos, is your video essays going off at the moment.
Yes. Yeah.
What made you start your video essays? Because it was a very different change of. What made you start scripted videos? First of all,
okay.
And what made?
Yeah.
What made you start the video essays? Because it's very different to what you were doing before.
I think part of it was because I felt like I was growing up, and with that grown up aspect, I think that you had to do more scripting, more sort of like I should be taken seriously for critiquing things because I can now present them properly.
Yeah.
And
what was yeah.
But I think that it took a while to kind of work out what the balance is, and I think that even with the forging thing, which I think was the first big project that I did in terms of video essays, that one started off as like, oh, we'll do it in 2 parts. I'll do like a 60-minute documentary thing. It'd be great. And then I did this while I was outside at work when I did garden stuff. So I was like brushing leaves and things like that. And I thought sort of wrote part of the video in my head while doing
we've all been there.
And then then over like a couple of months I wrote the script for it, and then I wrote and then I sent it to you, and I sent it to Yasmin, who looked at it, and then I think since then I've written it again, and then recently I'd taken the whole the third part that it is now, and that's gone back through a draft, so that's on its third draft, and then it gets revised again.
Exclusive. Forging of the Cybermen Part 3 is coming out very soon.
Not very soon. I'm looking past Centenary. I haven't started filming it yet, and I don't think I've
Well,
even finished some of the writing on it because of the centenary.
the Cybermen are in the centenary. Does that
Exactly.
mean we're going to get a Forging of the Cybermen Part 4?
No, it's all included.
Oh, it's
It
all
it
included.
feels weird if I was to decide that series 12 Flux was like the end, and then there was this like one little episode which God knows what the Cybermen are doing in this story, but whatever they do, for that to be left out for no apparent reason, I feel like it makes sense to end on the Chibnall finale, and then maybe once RTD has finished his stuff and I can talk about the Cybermen again. But no, I did that just because I liked the Cybermen. I felt like they were the way that they're treated throughout the show is quite interesting. So that's why I did it.
What made you take on also the comedic aspect of the video? Because I said to you, watching it the first time, it gave a lot of Up Is Not Jump vibes.
Yeah, that's definitely who I was trying to be, I think.
So he was your inspiration for that.
Yeah, well, it's the same that we've got quite short attention spans now as people. And it means that we need to, it means that we need to sort of be a bit quicker. So I wouldn't say I plan the jokes to be like I have to do one every minute. I have to do it now because otherwise people are going to turn off. I think that if you're going to do a joke, there's a lot of times that I just cut them because I don't think they make any sense. But the ones that I keep in, I think are actually that would actually make me chuckle. They're the ones that I keep in, even if they're just little things like in the Ryan video. There's this weird bit which I don't know why I did it. I think I was checking them if the mic was next to like on my clip, and I just went like this, and it looks really strange. So when I was talking about myself looking like a madman, I then cut in me hitting the microphone. And I think that's a nice little joke. It's not really. It just sort of breaks up the sentences. Really, that's all that I'm trying to do with those jokes. And I like coming up with them, but sometimes they're a pain because you get sort of stretches where you can't think of any and you'd like, or sometimes I think you can force them, and I think forcing them is probably worse than not having any. So that's why it goes through like several drafts, because I end up cutting them and writing new ones and all types of stuff. So but yeah, I was definitely trying to be Up Is Not Jump.
That's fine. It works. It's completely fine. I really enjoyed Forging. It was very well put together. What is your best performing video?
Is it the video when I was talking about collection box sets?
It is.
And their issues.
Yes, because you were ranting about going to B&M.
No, that was a different video.
Was that a different video?
Yeah. This one was when I was talking about eBay scalpers, I think.
Ah, yes.
eBay scalpers.
Even in that one.
Pardon?
Even in that one, there is still a bit of Up Is Not Jump vibes, isn't there? There is a little. I swear, is it in your eBay scalper? You've still got a bit of comedy in it.
Yeah, there's two.
Is that a ranty one?
There's
got to get over your own video.
There is two videos. I think you've mixed them together. So one of them is me talking about how I don't like the way that the collection box sets are sold, because they're sold with intended limited availability, and then people just buy loads.
I know what you're on about now. I'm thinking of your figure set ones.
And then I did one based on the figure sets, which was very similar. But
still also a good performing video.
That was more along the editing, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, but sorry, go back into your best performing video, your collection box set rant about how difficult it is to acquire such box sets. Box sets. What happened to me? What happened to you? I'm guessing something happened to you to make you go, this is annoying, I'm going to do a video on it.
I think it was the new year, and at that point I was like, okay, I want to grow up the channel slightly and start making more thought out arguments. And then I was like, okay, so this, I think one of the box sets came out. I can't remember which one. Maybe series season 8, something like that.
I think that's 44 because 40, not 44.
Season 44.
Sorry, is it 24?
No,
that's
it
the
was
one in
before
your
then.
thumbnail.
Must have been before 24.
Let me have a look.
But
is my thingy gone?
No, your camera's still going.
That's
no,
fine.
but yeah, I think it was season 8.
Season 8.
Yeah. Whatever came out around that time.
2 seconds. Sorry, I should have done more research. Right, hold on. Sort by most popular. Oh, you don't talk about it. You've just got your fucking things in it. You've got quite a few random videos that have just done quite well, haven't you?
Yeah, well, they're from the old days.
Yeah, that's your old era. Oh, Beardless Dan, Series 11. Oh, look at him.
Don't look at Beardless Dan. I hate not having a beard now. Or just having anything.
Having a beard?
No, I hate not having it because I think I look like a child.
I don't think you will now because your face is also matured. But anyway, we're going to stop talking about how handsome you are. And we're going to talk about the thing we're doing right now, the podcast. What made you start doing a podcast? Let's not talk about the Geek Show podcast.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how when the Who podcast was made, and not because of a naming issue, when it became a proper thing, which we actually do properly and not just rant on. Yeah,
well, it started off as an idea between you and me. You were, I think one night we were playing GTA, and you were like, "Do you want to play? Do you want, I think we should start a podcast." And it's like, "Okay, then." And then you came around my house and filmed it. But then I think
was I there for that? Came around your house. Which podcast? Which Geek Show podcast?
This was when we first started. They're all gone now. But I think
I can't remember going to yours to do one.
I think that's why initially we sat in front of this microphone and did them.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't until COVID that we stopped.
No, and it became this.
Yes, and then we do them all like this now. But
because I'm in Sheffield.
Yeah, but with that, it meant that I think it was like 20 minutes long at the time, and then I had to work out how to do it all. Hosting it and all that, and then it was like, we'll do it monthly. But then the Who podcast properly came around when I suppose
because of the naming issue, wasn't it? Like a copyright thing.
It was partly because I realised that it wasn't getting onto like certain platforms because there was other. It was weird because it went on, and then I thought, oh, it's all right. It's gone through. It doesn't matter. And then all of a sudden, they just sort of went off, and you couldn't find it anywhere. And I was like, okay, well, this clearly isn't working. And I was like, I want to change things really because I think I kind of delved away from the way that the format that we used to have. And then I was like, okay, so I renamed it the Who Podcast. If you remember, I think we were
who came up with the name? I think it was the combined thing, wasn't it?
Well, I've got a bit of a story behind it because we were at school. We were in sixth form at the time,
F7.
And one day I was trying to come up with podcast names, and I used a generator, and some of them were so stupid that we were just rolling on the floor laughing. And I was sitting with Alex and Regan about it, and that's what we were trying to do, was trying to come up with these podcast names, and we were just giggling at the silliness. I think one of them was like, "Get off my podcast," or like, it was one of those things when you like filled it all out and then it sticks it through a generator and it generates them.
Yeah.
And some of them were just dreadful. And then it just became the Who podcast. And then I think I launched it. Well, I had the old ones and ended up making essentially a new show on the same account, imported them over, and then ended up using, I think, a new logo and slightly better intro, and sort of refined it slightly, and I still am. And I think it started with Amy when she first appeared, and I was like introducing her to the idea of Doctor Who, I think.
Hold up. You're telling me you think the Who podcast proper kicked off when you had Amy on?
Yeah, and then you were in the next month.
I can't believe this. I was doing them months before.
You were in most of them, and then
I
stopped.
As much as I say I agree, because again, I was a dick back then, and I felt we've all matured.
I think it was just a case that at the time you were quite hard to book time with, so to speak. So it meant that it was like, okay, who else can I get? And also I wanted to do the whole, who we got this week, keep changing it and sort of getting on different guests and different people, as I still intend to and currently do.
Yeah.
So I think that it was all based off that, and then over that sort of time, the format of things have changed.
Got a guest coming on next month.
We have got a guest coming on next month.
We've got a guest coming on next month, which we're both very excited for.
We are, yeah. I don't think we're going to reveal it, just in case I end up switching around. But we have a guest.
We're not going to reveal it, but we are very excited.
Yeah, it is very exciting.
It is very exciting.
but I kind of then sort of developed it and added things to it, and as we still do. And then
a recent change, I've become a co-host.
And now you're making more appearances, and eventually you can take your own episodes, and it's sort of about, I suppose, it's weird, right? Because when we were playing Xbox, right, a while ago, and it was like, look at all the people that don't come online anymore because we've all grown out of it, essentially, or we've grown up that we don't have the time for it. And I think part of me thinks, why am I still doing this? Like, when I finish it, it's like when you've played The Sims for too long, or Minecraft on a world, and then you've realised that everything you've accomplished has absolutely no meaning. Like, there is no point to it at all.
Where's this going dark all of a sudden?
But my point was that, sort of, as I mature, I don't want to obviously just give it up or leave it. So I'm like, I kind of want to continue it at the same time as doing the adult stuff. So
yeah, no, but I also feel a podcast is the most adult you can get.
Yeah. And
obviously, because everyone and their nan has a podcast now, so it's not like we're breaking the internet or whatever. Like, literally everybody is doing a podcast.
That was sort of always the intention, to sort of mature myself a little bit when I started this, and sort of be able to, I was going to say, become self-sufficient, but it's never really going to be that. But it's just about, I just like the organisation of it. I think I like the, let's go and talk to this person and see if when they're available and booking them in, and then sort of revolving that around doing. I just hate being bored. Essentially, that's my problem.
Yeah, no, I must admit, like, even when you say, "Oh, do you want to do the podcast?" I'm like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, not again." But I always enjoy it.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
That's why I'm quite careful, because I don't want to put you in too much, because then if we do it too much, it becomes stale. Then you won't want to do it at all.
No, I don't think it will. I honestly don't think it will, and that's what I'm saying, because I feel like, as this is the podcast, we can both talk about it. The future of the podcast, which is another question on there. Where do you see the podcast going? As we were saying before the podcast started, where do we see the podcast going? We both said it can go anywhere, because we've got the name The Who Podcast, so it doesn't have to be Doctor Who. Do you know what I mean? It could become just a rambling, just two mates having a chat thing about nerd culture.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can. No, but where I would like to see it go. Well,
yeah. Sorry.
I'd
like
to see it. Well, I just like to see it go until I feel like there's an accomplishment, or like a community of it. Because the intention was alwaws to have lots of people do it.
listeners?
Pardon?
Would you like frequent listeners?
Yeah. I wasn't, but by community, I didn't just mean people that listen. I mean people that would join and actually wanted to join, and sort of being at the center of that. I think was always was something I was looked up to quite highly. I think as anyone does who makes things, is they want to sort of entertain people. They want, I suppose, praise in many respects as well. For it, let's not beat around the bush. There is definitely a degree that you want praise, even though that might not be the primary reason why you do it. Because you like organizing things, because you like messing around with your friends. Because if it wasn't for the podcast, I don't think we would talk about too much stuff together. I mean, we'd talk about Doctor Who, but if it wasn't for the projects that we work on, we wouldn't have this thing that means that we get to call each other every month or whatever.
Yeah, I agree. It would, if we didn't have the podcast and the audio series, which will eventually come out. Eventually. Just give us time. I need to actually fucking do it.
Yeah, you need to actually finish your episode.
Well, I know it's me, guys. If you're annoyed there's no audio series, blame me.
He's the issue, because he's taken episode 1, which has been finished for ages, and the 2 episodes that I have to edit haven't been finished in terms of lines yet. Although my 3rd episode at the time of recording is like really, really close. The first episode's been done for ages because I had my friend Amelia come, our friend Amelia, come and film it. So your stuff's been done for ages.
So you sent me all them lines. I just have to wait. You're just gonna have to wait, guys.
Yeah, I mean it's all in the folder somewhere. If you want, might be quicker if you just make it yourself. But
Yeah, come on. We'll put a little folder link in the description.
Yeah. Get the sound effects out. And then you build your own.
We'll give you a $5.
Build your own audio series. All the lines are there. Build
your own audio series.
You just have to put it together.
We won't tell you what order the lines go in. We won't give you the script. We'll just give you the lines.
You have to kind of piece together the structure of the story and the overall narrative with that and the arcs.
It's a little audio series jigsaw, if you will.
Yeah.
A little jigsaw.
So, it's so rustic. It's not finished.
Yeah.
And there's bloopers there included as well.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of me swearing.
There's a lot of you swearing.
Like, it's because I go say words like doctor says.
Yeah,
I just can't get the words out.
There's a lot of you swearing, and there's a lot of me sort of like sighing and sort of doing this like in the corner. But then, especially when we record yours, and then there's a lot of me saying, "I didn't quite get that. Can you record that again?"
I didn't quite get that.
I say that a lot.
Quite get that. Can you say that again, please? Just do it again. Just do it again.
Just in
safety.
case.
Just do it again.
Just in case. That's what I do a lot.
Just in case. Just do it again. And then it's like, oh, that one was actually better.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, I hate it.
Yeah, that'll do.
Repeating the same phrases or whatever.
It's the worst bit. It's like
it is.
Oh god.
He's sitting there at 1 o'clock at
Do
night.
do that again, please?
Right.
Speaking of which, what's up there? Why is that only 9?
Well, have you what other questions have you got? Well, have you got anything else?
Yeah, sorry. Where do you want to take your YouTube channel? Finally, the final question. Where do you want to take your YouTube channel?
I think initially it was like, let's try and do it full time, or let's try and make it lead into something. The likelihood is it won't. But I think the hope there will always try and make me do it, and the hope of it becoming something and becoming some, would be great. But at the minute, I'm just sort of happy to produce videos and get sort of that engagement with people from it. even if it's quite a little bit negative, I still enjoy the someone leaving a comment or taking the time to leave a comment to say that they liked this and that they thought that this was their opinion on the topic that I was talking about. I'm really happy with that kind of stuff, and I have people that I notice pop up quite a lot of time. The fact that somebody would actually want to watch my videos and the things I have to say is quite high praise, and something that I really enjoyed. I enjoy, and is something that I get a lot of pleasure from making anyway. So I like to keep myself busy. What can I say? I like to keep things going.
What's next in the content?
Okay, so
is it gonna stay to more video essays? Because I know we keep talking about these big stuff we want to do, like in person, but it's just the time and the money for it, isn't it? Like, we can say it now, don't we? If to do a vlog or something.
Well, yeah, because so we did the Sheffield one, but yeah, because we did mention doing like bigger ones, but maybe going to like Cardiff and stuff. Because I've never been to Cardiff. I don't know. I don't think you have either.
I've never been to Cardiff.
Go to Cardiff would be quite a big one, or go to a Comic-Con, because neither of us have been to Comic-Cons.
Neither of I'm going to the Liverpool Doctor Experience in October. I am.
Cool. Well, see, that is quite interesting. So maybe bring back Cyber Will.
Fuck right off.
But
I've had sex. I'm not bringing back that channel.
Nice. But I always thought that it was. I never thought it would actually sort of come to something, but the fact that people actually watch me, you definitely get like a hit of dopamine from that. So I think it's always something that I'm going to be chasing. To be fair, I think maybe when I'm older, I do wonder this. To be fair, I think is the fact that I like to do this, and I've got like it's almost like a compulsion for it. It's.
So you don't see it ending in the future?
No, but
you
never know. I think I definitely got to slow it down, because
I feel like you're at the right pace at the moment, but then it depends on like what your job is and when your free time is.
Yeah, I think like as I grow up, well, I suppose I'm already grown up. I am concerned about my time being wasted in terms of like the real world goes by me because I'm sitting here thinking, oh, I need to do this month's podcast. So the idea of it being sort of self-sufficient would be lovely, and to get that right balance between, work, what I consider like hobby work, which is this stuff, and actual life, would be ideal where I want. And as my responsibilities grow, as I suppose my family change, I don't think I'm probably gonna have kids, but if I ever do, that would be a big one.
Oh, don't say that.
I don't really want kids, to be honest, but I haven't really decided on those things, because I feel like part of me just think I've let the world sort of slip by me slightly.
Kids at the moment, they're little snotters.
People have kids.
Do you know what I just think? Literally, this has just come to my head. If people are getting engaged,
people are literally. Our best friend got engaged yesterday.
Got engaged. What is life?
What is life?
Anyway,
I know, and I'm like, I'm missing that. I'm living in my own little dreamer's world, and maybe I should be living more in the real world.
I'd want us to get a house together or something.
You think us two should live together?
I reckon we could do it.
You think with all of my weird habits, you think that you and I could live together? I'm like living with John Richardson. You know the comedian John Richardson.
We could do it. I reckon. Yeah, I know the John Richardson, but imagine that. We could do it, right? I reckon we could. If uni fails, Dan, we'll get a house together.
How are we going to afford the house would be the issue.
That's not the way. Hey. Hypotheticals. I really don't want to tell uni.
Hypothetical. So hypothetically, we're going to buy a house where we can constantly do the podcast and make Doctor Who videos till the end of time.
In-person podcast. How sick's that going to be? We just
Right.
We have a little table. We have a TV. We whack the logo on. We get one of the handhold mics.
Mm-hmm. I think you one point suggested doing a podcast in a pub. By the way,
podcast in a pub.
Podcast in a pub. I think you wanted to do one of these podcast episodes in a pub.
Podcast when I said.
I think it was just you and me, but yeah, you did mention doing the podcast in the pub, which would have been very interesting.
Someone else was there at one point. I can't remember. Podcast in the pub.
But yeah, but
I get these random ideas. They just come to my head and I blurt them out. But yeah, the dream for me with this podcast is getting a big enough audience and listeners that it does actually become an in-person thing.
You've got quite high hopes then.
No, not high hopes. It's not that we're going to get a studio or whatever. Nothing like that. I just want it to be an in-person thing, because as much as the Zoom's great, but imagine us sat down with handheld mics just talking to each other.
I think there is definitely. I think we've kind of got used to it now, but at first there is a lot of like talking over each other and stuff like that, because you don't quite have the rhythm. And then when you turn around and you realise you're completely alone and you're not talking to anyone, it's a bit weird. As I've done then, and I kind of freeze.
And stuff like this. My Wi-Fi,
and your
it won't be a thing.
Nicely fixed.
And my uni Wi-Fi won't be a thing. So.
But
Dan Johnson.
As it's yours. I was going to start wrapping up, but then I realised it's yours. It's your job to do it.
I know. I will leave you on one final question. So we've got to know Dan quite well, to be honest. I want to say thank you for being open. I've also learned a bit about you, and how you feel about your YouTube. So it's nice. And I hope you haven't felt too on the spot. I wanted to just a nice little kind of chill thing.
I don't think I said anything pig-headed.
No. I'm not saying you've been big-headed. I'm saying you've let us into your YouTube, how you see YouTube, and it's really I've learned stuff about you. But Dan, one thing when we get guests on, I've decided this.
You've decided this.
I've decided this. When we get guests on, we are going to ask them one question to get to know them a little bit more. No. This will be the question we ask everyone.
Oh, I was making a joke.
What is your favourite scene from any TV show / movie?
My favourite scene ever?
From any TV show / movie.
Can I not cut the parameters down slightly? Okay,
we'll do TV show and then we'll do movie.
Yeah, it feels like all of media is quite difficult to distinguish in one moment. I think my favourite scene in a film would probably be. Oh, there's loads. Well, but I'll whittle through a few. Like Baby Driver. I think a lot of that is some beautiful scenes. Shaun of the Dead.
No, what scene?
Hot Fuzz.
What scene?
That's what's going through my mind. But I think my favourite.
No, I know, but you're saying these movies, Dan.
Yeah.
But say what scene?
What scene? Well, I think that the.
Yeah, not what's your favourite movie. It's what scene from that movie. Okay. It may not even be your favourite movie, but that scene is the best.
I think so. In Shaun of the Dead, I mean most of that film, to be fair, but I think the scene in the bar when they're hitting the zombie pub landlord with the snooker cues,
with the sticks, tape, and it goes to the music,
and he's like that bit. I love the bit with the ladder.
Not when Nick Frost says the N-word.
No. The bit with the ladder when he goes up the ladder and then how that and he comes down and goes lots. There is what did I mention? Baby Driver. The opening scene to Baby Driver, I think it's one of the best opening scenes in a film. But I think my top one, because this got me obsessed with my whole style of filmmaking. Even with our audio series, I sometimes imagine how we would film it. And when do you like when you make up action scenes and stuff in your head? They all follow the same formula.
It's so hard to do audio series. Audio, I mean.
Yeah. But for me, they always follow the same formula, in which is sort of long takes and hidden cuts. So I think my favourite scene in a movie is from Kingsman: The Secret Service,
Kingsman.
and it's the church scene. It's like my favorite film, so it has to be. Yeah, so I absolutely love that scene. I think it's amazing. When I saw that was like, oh my god, this is like the most exhilarating scene that I've seen. So I think it would have to be that. But in terms of a TV show,
yep.
I think I would obviously have to pick Doctor Who because I think it is.
Would you? Because I am going for a scene in The Boys.
Oh yeah, well you're not going for the one at the opening of Series 3, have you?
No.
Deep in Dan, taken to another level.
It is in Series 3 though. My favourite scene.
Okay, well I'll just explain my reasoning behind Doctor Who, and then you can go ahead.
Say your scene.
But I think that for me, I'd have to pick scenes that I think have meaning to me, like at my age, and I think that even though I don't particularly like the relationship between Rose and the Doctor, I think that the Bad Wolf Bay scene at the end of Doomsday was was quite scarring, or just Doomsday in general has a lot of things that I think are quite traumatic for me and kind of imprinted. But you could say the same for Journey's End and for many other episodes of Doctor Who. Even though that is not my favourite episode, I think my favourite's Age of Steel. I think that scene is definitely the most poignant when you asked me the question. But I give you the question back to you.
My well, for some reason I've got this one scene in my head when it comes to the movie, but it's so basic, like it doesn't stand out. Actually, no, I've got two scenes. One's just popped into my mind.
Oh yeah.
First one, Endgame, Avengers Assemble.
Yeah,
it's the one that will pop into everyone's head
definitely,
first. It
definitely.
made cinema. Like, it didn't make cinema.
I cried with happiness.
I
was like, oh my god, this is exactly what I always wanted.
100%.
Yeah.
But my second favourite scene, just because how it's made, is another Edgar Wright film. It is Last Night in Soho.
I haven't seen that film yet.
Have you not seen it? The dancing scene with Matt Smith.
Okay.
And
Anya Taylor-Joy.
And
Tasman.
What's her name?
Tamsin
from Jojo
Mackenzie.
Rabbit.
Tamsin
something like that.
I nearly called her Tasman Mackenzie, which would have been interesting.
No, it is Tamsin something. Yeah.
It's definitely Mackenzie. I think it's Tasman.
It's something like that. The dancing scene in that, the how it's made, the filmmaking. Because I watched the behind the scenes and how it's done. It's just fantastic. I love Edgar Wright, to be honest. Anything Edgar Wright does. But my favourite scene, once again, it's a fight scene. It's the season 3 Herogasm fight scene between Soldier Boy, William Butcher, and Homelander. That fight scene is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is very good. Yeah. Okay. Is that sort of how long ago have you watched that? Was that recently?
What, about 3 weeks ago?
Oh, right, okay. I was going to say, if you've just watched that, then you're kind of high off it.
Oh, no, I finished The Boys for on holiday, so yeah, that was about 3 weeks ago.
No, right, well, you're right then, aren't you? So, yeah, that scene is really...
It's my opinion, I'm not right.
No, I think it's a really cool scene, though. The fact that they kind of... Because I don't know if you saw it, but they really hyped up the whole Herogasm thing. But then they didn't... They completely underplayed the emotional beats of that scene.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh crap. It's happening.
Yeah, the fights when Butcher is finally on the bit of spoilers.
Balls.
Should I do spoilers?
I mean, you might as well.
Or do I just say the scene and leave it at that?
Skip away if you'd like, but if you need it to explain the context of what's happening.
No, I don't.
You don't need to ruin it.
I don't. That fight scene is just fantastic, and the boys, after a year of shit series, is like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay.
And all of the Marvels stuff, not Miss Marvels, I'm not seeing it, but the Marvel films as well. That just gave me this is what superheroes or
So
what a TV series can be.
So you had a bit of superhero fatigue, and that sort of.
No, I wouldn't say superhero fatigue. I was just fed up of just big corporations.
Well, it's what that show's
Marvel
designed to poke fun at.
Pumping out shit,
and
it's like, oh, this is for fan service, but there's not an actual story.
Yeah,
like it's rubbish, mate. But anyway, I think we're done, to be honest.
Yeah. Do you want to? It's your podcast episode. You wrap it up.
Well, it's my podcast. I think I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, it has been interesting to be on the other chair today.
I
like to go back immediately. But...
Oh, we will, don't we? Next week. Next week, Dan, you're in charge of that one.
I want to be a control freak again.
When the guest is talking, I will keep quiet. Probably out of just absolute nervousness. Like, oh my god, it's that person. I don't know what to do.
Right. Okay.
But yeah. Thanks. Thank you guys for listening. This has been. I want to say this has been the first proper podcast that we've done.
I think we've covered a lot of stuff within it.
We have. It's been our first interview podcast, which I personally hope to do many more of with other YouTubers.
Yeah, well, I think it's definitely been the first interview podcast you've done.
No, because you haven't done an interview podcast. You've had them on.
I've had guests,
but you've had guests.
They were close to interviews. They were topical interviews, but okay, fair enough.
Topical interviews, but you've not had general interviews. So this is what personally I'd love to do it. So if you can get more of them people on, and talk. I feel like Doctor Who YouTubers are fed up of talking about Doctor Who.
Okay.
That's why I try to avoid. No, it's true. If you were asked,
there's David Tennant in the background.
If you were asked on a podcast, right, and you were like, "What's your favourite Doctor? What made you start watching Doctor Who? And how do you feel about Jodie Whittaker?" You'd be fucking bored, man, wouldn't you?
Okay.
You honestly, you would. You'd be like, "I've answered all these before."
I don't get asked on anything.
No, I know you don't. But our next guest has been on a few. So we will. I think for his sake, we'll try and keep the Doctor questions to a minimum.
Okay. Interesting. We'll see. We'll have to see.
We'll have to see. But thank you guys for watching, /listening. This has been the Who podcast with your hosts, Will, and your interviewee, Dan Johnson. Also has been the co-host. He's probably done most of the talking after he edits and cuts all me out.
yeah. It's just going to be me talking. I'm going to re-record it without you.
We're going to re-record it. It's just going to be him going, "Yeah, so I just love the money." If you want to listen to us on other platforms, we are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Deezer, iHeartRadio, iHeart Podcast Lovers, or something like that.
Podcast Lovers.
You've got something like that.
It's iHeartRadio. You got that. But I don't. Podchaser, I think, is what you're missing.
Podchaser, that's the one.
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud. I keep forgetting we're always on SoundCloud.
You just said Spotify, Deezer. I think we're on Deezer. Pretty sure we're on Deezer.
Said Deezer.
Whatever we're on, whatever I've added, I can't remember.
Amazon Music?
I don't think so. No,
we're not on Amazon Music.
Not on Amazon Music.
Apple. We've said Apple Podcasts.
We're on that one.
But don't you worry,
guys. Don't you worry.
Listen here. It's your lucky day. Don't you worry. You don't need to remember all of them platforms. You can just go into the link tree in the description, where we are available on all of your favourite podcast listening platforms.
Nice one.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. And we'll see you next month for a very, very special podcast with our first guest.
Yeah.
Our first guest.
Goodbye.
Peace out.